Parayanam Acharyo Ramakrishna. But as because I came here for some other purpose, you can see at the background this is the new shrine of the Detroit temple, and the pictures of Thakur Maharaj, and I am online also. So today I will be speaking on the Lord Jagannath, the Father of the universe. As because today is the Father's Day, in the beginning itself, I like to congratulate all the fathers. And not only that, I like to offer pranam to the fathers. Why fathers are so important? Why the Hindus, they think that the father is nothing but God. They teach the father is your God. Pitri Devo Bhava. Pitri means in Sanskrit father. Devo Bhava, he is God. The Hindus has the habit of respecting those who are helping us, the humanity. And the father is a symbol of love. Father is a symbol of sacrifice. Father is a symbol of service. When a young man, before marriage, his temperament, his attitude, his behavior are completely different. And that young man, when he becomes father, is completely different. He becomes so responsible because he knows that I have to take care of my children. He knows I have to take care of my family. And he knows that I have to cooperate with the society. So the father's role is completely different. And mostly they will be in the background, they don't come forward, but from there they help a lot. You know that Swami Vivekananda said, the God is nothing but love. About Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, when someone asked him, he said, Sri Ramakrishna, L-O-V-E personified. Sri Ramakrishna is the love embodiment. And the love is God. And at the same time, to give the definition of God, he said, unselfishness is God. And that is very clear. Unselfishness is God. And when you look at a father, I have seen many of them. At the time, you know that in the Durga Puja time, mostly the Hindus have the tradition, it's the culture to purchase the new clothing for all the members of the family. And the father, he will spend the whole year's the budget, whatever the money he could collect, to purchase the new clothing for all the members of the family. And mostly in those days, they were joint family, so they will be the uncle and the father, the mother, grandpa, grandma, and so many. And not only that, those to work in the family also, they used to consider them as the members of the family. And each and every one will get a new set of clothes. But I have noticed the father will be satisfied with his old clothing. At the best, he will wash it, and after ironing, he will be so happy that he could provide new clothing to everyone. There is a great sacrifice the fathers are doing. So obviously, yes, the fathers is nothing but God. This type of sacrifice, this type of care, and then when the children are in difficulty, he will the first person to go and stand to protect his child. So that is the father. In the modern times, all over the world, this is the day when they are considering remembering the father. The children, they will be purchasing at least a card and to send that to the father, saying, the father, a congratulation. And in our tradition, we always say, pranam, namaskar, like that. The father is nothing but love. Father is nothing but hope. Anything that happened, the children, they will always look at the father. I have seen a very poor father, who was having only a bicycle, and he used to sell the old newspapers to the different shops. In our villages, in the countries, they will be using the newspapers for some packaging and all that. So he used to sell that, and his son wanted something for the school. He had to sell that bicycle, the old bicycle. He sold that to purchase that gift for his son. And from the next day, he used to walk and sell the whole thing, carrying the whole load of the old newspaper on his shoulder. Shall we not consider this father as God? Because the love, the sacrifice, and the care that he was having for his son, for the children. So this is the Father's Day. We must remember these fathers. And at the same time, the Lord Jagannath, he is the father of the universe. The Jagannath is nothing but Vishnu. And this Lord Jagannath, he is not having the legs, he is not having hands, he is not having the eyelids also. But he is the father of the universe. In the Bhagavata, there is a great description how the Lord was creating. And when he was creating, he is the father. In the Bhagavad Gita also we find the Lord Krishna, who is also the embodiment and avatar of the Vishnu. He is mentioning, I am the father of the universe. And this father of the universe, the creator, he too is having the same way, the carefulness, the love, the affection, and everything that a father should have. He has created this universe. He has created the difficulties, but he wants us, the human being, to go back to himself, to the God. And that is why he has created the scriptures. He has created the holy people. Nay, sometimes he himself will take the embodiment, take the form, and come down to teach us. He came in the form of Sri Ramachandra. After the Satya Yuga, in the beginning of the Treta Yuga itself, he came in the form of Ramachandra. And then came Dwapara Yuga as Lord Krishna. And in this Kali Yuga, the present age, he has come in the form of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. Why? Because he is the father. And he said, he gave the indication, if the father is holding the hand of the child, there is no problem for the child. Whatever the maybe the difficulties in the road, father will take care, because father is holding the hand of the child. But if the child is holding the hand of the father, there is a chances, by mistake, inadvertently, the child will release the grip and he will go away from the father. So that is the teaching. The God is the father, the father of the universe. He has created every being, but the best being is the human being. You know that the tradition, there is a Ratha Yatra. When the Ratha, that is the chariot, that will go, that means it is all moving. And Hindus are always very symbolic. They will give the idea of the abstract idea of God, of the Brahman, in a very unique form. What is that Brahman? All pervading consciousness. Now that all pervading consciousness, how you will explain that? How people will understand that? Then in the Upanishad they find, he says, tad ejati tanmai jati, tad dure tad antike, tad antarasya sarvasya, tadu sarvasyasya Bhayataha. That consciousness, it is not he or she. Though the Hindus have hundreds and thousands of different forms, the statues, the pictures, different forms and gods of goddesses, but in reality, the Hindu never worship in form. Hindu always worship in the formless condition of God. So that is the uniqueness. When the Upanishad is teaching us the God is all pervading, God is everywhere, then how they will have that idea? So there is a story, it goes in this way, that the king of the country, he decided to have the statue of God. And how we can do that? Then they decided that someone should come and carve from a wood the God's form. And they were not getting any carpenter good enough to carve the God's form from that wood. Suddenly, someone came and he decided and he claimed that he can do that, but the condition is no one should disturb him till he completes. That is the story it goes. Every time they will be telling like that. And he entered into the room, closed the room. He was going on working every day, and when that was going on, then suddenly the king and the queen perhaps he thought that let us go and inquire. It is a long time he is taking to carve an image. Let me go and see whether he is doing it or not. So the king opened the door and he found no one inside, and that is the problem. Immediately, then the story, they say when they saw that the man is not there, but he was having the God's form incomplete. There is no hands, no legs, and no eyelid. But when a person is carving a statue, then naturally when he is making the leg, he will complete the leg with the feet itself. Hands, of course, with the complete hand. How come that he left only two hands, he left only the legs, he left or forgot to put the eyelid? No, it is not like that. So that story takes us back to that ultimate Upanishadic teaching. And what is that Upanishadic teaching? The God is everywhere. Tad, tad, tad. That consciousness, here, there, inside, outside, everywhere. How? As consciousness. In the story, again there was a king who never believed in Vishnu, in God, but his son was great devotee, the Prahlada. Almost everyone, all Hindus children, they will be reading that story, the Prahlada story. He was a great devotee, but his father was exactly opposite. And his father was challenging. God can never be here. He challenged his son. In the beginning, he wanted to punish his son, but in no way he could do that. He threw the son in the fire, but nothing happened to the son. He threw him from the cliff on the top of the mountain to the ocean. Nothing happened. So like that, when he was exhausted, he couldn't kill his son. He was so angry, he wanted to kill his son, that he couldn't do that. Then ultimately he asked his son, where is your God? He said, everywhere. Everywhere means what? Do you think in this pillar, in that stone pillar, he was pointing and saying, do you think the God is here in this pillar? Of course he is. Hiranyakashipu, that was the name. And he was a very powerful person, but only thing he was not having the faith in the existence of God. He went and gave a kick to that stone pillar, And you know what happened? Some people may believe, some people not. But the God came out. He was half lion and half man. Narasimha. That is again another form. Because the God, when he is angry, half is animal, terrible power, and half is human being. So he came in the Narasimha's form and he killed the father. And that is the way he gave the punishment. The story goes in this way. All this time, this Lord is coming and helping us, and he is guiding us all through. When we are talking about the God everywhere, God, all pervading God, that God is not having the legs. Why? As because the God is already there. He doesn't need the leg to go. We need. As because we are not everywhere. To go from one place to another place, we need the legs. But God is already there. And God works just by thinking. Even in the Christian tradition, you will find, they will say, the Lord, there is no light. And the Lord God said, let there be light. And immediately there was light. So God always works through thinking. He doesn't need the hands. We need the hands to work. So the Lord was not having the hands. Jagannath Mahaprabhu was not having any hands. But the Jagannath Mahaprabhu is constantly watching every movement, whatever the way we are working, everything he is watching. That is called the Jagannath Mahaprabhu. The God and Supreme Lord is watching us. And that's why he is not having the eyelid. Whenever there is an eyelid, we are closing. As a human being, it is a fraction of a second. But for the God, it will take a long, long years. So when the eye is closing down and opening, you know that calculation in the Bhagavata, the one day of the Brahma means the many 17 zeros of the human day. The Brahma's one day means one, after that 17 zeros, then Brahma's one day. The one person, he was meditating, praying to the Brahma appeared and he said, what do you want? He said, I want to kill all people. The Brahma said, oh my God. Now that person, he prayed, and sincerely he prayed, meditated. So obviously he has to get that blessing. But how can he give the blessings of such to kill all people? So he said, well, wait for a day, I am coming back tomorrow. This man was not knowing the calculation, Brahma's day. So it was from 1 after 17 0, how many? So in the meantime, he took birth few thousand times, but he couldn't get the blessings of Brahma. So there is a funny stories they say, and they always mention, so this is the way the God works. Now our point, Jagannath Mahaprabhu everywhere. Why? Jagatnatha. Many of us, the Hindus, we don't understand this. The Hinduism means all pervasiveness. That's why you will find in the Hinduism there is no conversion. Why? Any human being thinking positively, thinking for the betterment of others is a Hindu. Is a transformation. That is the way they always think. The Hinduism means a complete transformation. And how they transform? From selfishness to unselfishness. That is the transformation. When you are selfish, constantly thinking for yourself, you are separated from God. But when you are thinking for others, praying for others, helping others, you are united with God. So the Father is a God. Why? Because the Father is thinking for his family, for the family members, for his children. He is taking care. But the same Father, when he goes and embraces each and every one, and he is not thinking only his family, and that becomes Divine Father. Like Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, the Jagannath Mahaprabhu. Sri Ramakrishna also the embodiment of the Lord Vishnu. You know, in the life of Sri Ramakrishna, his father went to visit one holy place, and there he saw the Lord Vishnu is requesting him, I like to be praying to get the God as their son. But here the Lord himself is praying to that holy person, the Brahmin. But the poor, honest Brahmin said, "Sir, I am very poor. I won't be able to take care of you. Please don't come as my son. I am very poor." Then he laughed and said, you need not to bother about that. I will take care of that. But I will come. Why? Because truthfulness. That gentleman, and the father of afterwards, the father of Sri Ramakrishna, his name was Shuddhiram Chattopadhyay. He was a Brahmin, and he was so truthful, and he took all the responsibility on his shoulder and came out with the family, whole family, denying to say one single falsehood. The local Jamindar, the landlord, he was pressurizing him to go to the court of law to say in favor of him only one lie. But he said no. That landlord, and you know, in those days, and even today, the rich people, they can't do like that. It threw him out from his own property. Still that is there. I visited that ancestral home of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. His father was a rich man in comparing with others. He was having a big plot of land, cultivated land and everything. But he gave up everything, and since only I am not going to tell the lies. And not only he, his wife, the mother of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, she also supported her husband. She could say, so what is there if you tell a lie? And the big family that we are having, we cannot go out without anything. So you better go and tell the lies. If she was pressurizing, and naturally it would have been difficult for Khudiram Chattopadhyay, but she supported, no problem. We will be on the street. Even if we die, we are not going to tell the lies. And that is the beginning of the Satya Yuga. The Satya Yuga means truthfulness. Kali Yuga, falsehood. Satya Yuga, love for the spirit. Kali Yuga, love for the body. They always think about the body. They think everything is associated with the body. So these are the difference. That's why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, the moment he was born, Swamiji said, Satya Yuga began. And we, the followers of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, we are also following the path of Satya Yuga, ushering the Satya Yuga. Jagannath Mahaprabhu, about him, another story goes that he sometimes goes to visit his in-laws, his relatives. And who are the relatives? His mother's sister. So he will go to visit that. And how he will go? He is a lord, obviously in the chariot. So there are 3 chariots, because the Lord will go in one chariot, his sister, she will go in another chariot, and his brother Balaram will another chariot. That is the joy always. And the Hindus, they will be going over there, and hundreds and thousands, they will be pulling the chariots, and they are thinking by pulling the chariot of the Lord, they become purified. Every year, we do not know when it began. Time immemorial, they are going on doing it. So much of trouble, but still, even today, hundreds and thousands of people will go to do that. But what is that chariot actually? Again, the Hinduism, that is a symbol. But in reality, what is the chariot? Our bodies. Again, Upanishad says, Upanishads are the Veda. Veda means knowledge. And what is that knowledge? And it will say that this body is the chariot. Atmanam ratinam viddhi, shariram rathamevatu, buddhim tu sharatim viddhi, mana pragahamevacha, indriyanam hayannahu, vishayansteshu gocharan. So they are giving the wonderful description. So who is pulling the cart? The chariot, horses. How many horses? 5 horses. What are those horses? 5 indriyas. What are the 5 indriyas? This eye, the nose, the tongue, the skin, and the chakshu, karna, nashika, jivha, and tak. So these 5, chakshu and the ear. So these are the 5. How they are going? They are going towards own objects. The horses are very eager to go and eat the grasses. So obviously their food, they will go. The eye goes to see the beauties, and the ear goes to hear the words. The nose goes to get the smell, and the same way the tongue to taste, and also for the touch. So we are all the time mad with these 5. And in one of the beautiful books, Shankaracharya is mentioned that the animal, they are having only one of these weaknesses, and by that they are bound. The human being having all the 5, think of the poor soul, how they will survive. Sometimes the people, they will be playing the flute, and the deers, they love to listen to the beautiful music, the flutes particularly, and they will come and they will catch them. So they are luring them, bringing them out from the forest just by playing the music. And deer is the only weakness, they like to hear the good music, flute music. The animal, that huge animal like the elephant, very powerful, but they will send another animal and it will go and touch that powerful animal, the elephant, and slowly bring that. In Assam, in India, they catch the elephants. So that is the technique they always adopt. The rogue elephants, powerful, the elephants, they will be tamed and they will be following these elephants, and then when they come, they keep in such a way, the moment they enter, iron gates will be closed, the poor fellow will be caught over there. And like this, only one thing, only one weakness, these animals are always caught, and the human being, they are having all the 5. And they are giving the description that as if they are the 5 horses, and the 5 horses are trying to go to 5 different directions. Who is going to control them? Buddhi. Buddhim tu sarathim viddhi. Sarathi means the driver, and Sarathi, he will be controlling through the buddhi. What is the buddhi? Buddhi means discriminative faculty, and we know what is good and what is not, and we should control in that way. Sometimes we don't understand, particularly the children, when they go to the schools, when they go and get exposed to the external world, outside world, there will be so varieties of people, and that is why the guardians all the time are careful. There will be friends, they are also students, but they will come and say, come, let us have some puff, some smoke, and there is an excitement. They will go and sometimes in the bathrooms and here, there, they will start puffing. Then ultimately, they will be caught into that. So you have to think, now, I have come to this school to study. Those who are talking about the study, then they are good friends. I should be. So this is called discrimination. So, long back, I was visiting from Andaman to India. In Bombay, they took me to, I mentioned in some of my lectures, they took me to a prison to give a talk before those prisoners. The prisoners not ordinary are the thieves, they are all gangsters. So, the lady superintendent told Swamis, they are like this type of people, they are going to be killed. Maybe they themselves will be fighting and they are killing themselves, or we will shoot them, or the law will hang them. They are destined to die. Now, you say what you like to say. So, but they were good looking people, very well built, very nice, good looking, sober people, but the police were behaving as if they are not human beings, they are animals. You know, the Hindi, they use that word to derogate it. They will be kutte, hey kutta, sit there, kutte. They are addressing the human being as a dog, the street dog, like that they will be, and they are not touching with the hand, with the legs, sit over there, go over there. They are kicking them all the time. So much humiliation. Then they asked me to speak. I was not knowing what I should say, so I started like this. Friends, physically you are more strong than me. Intellectually you are stronger than me, because courage, so much of courage you are having. But in all way, if you compare, you are much better than me. But look at me, they are giving me so much of respect. I am sitting in a nice chair, all people are guarding me, and so much of respect I am having over here. And look at you, why they are not respecting you? You know, in one point of time in our lives, by the grace of God, I took the right decision and I started moving in a path of righteousness, dharma. And unfortunately, you took a wrong path, you chose a wrong path, and that way you are in this condition. So, only the decision, and that decision we can take through our buddhi, through our intellect. And how the intellect we can grow? Listening. That is why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, sadhu sangha. The first and foremost thing, you must listen to the very positive thoughts. Sadhu means not all the time talking about God. Sadhu means giving the positive thoughts. Sometimes the children will be angry. Even the children, they are criticizing their parents, their family members. It is the elderly person to whom he or she is disclosing the mind should always guide. No, this is possible, but you should think in this way. Positive, positive, positive all the time. Otherwise, once we go in a negative way, sometimes in the politics also, in the social life also, the leaders, they will be giving the negative directions. You have to fight with them, you have to go and quarrel with them, if necessary kill them, all these negative things. Once the negative things entered into the social body, that will not only destroy maybe the few the enemies, but that will destroy the whole other brothers and sisters also, their own people also. So, no negativeness, always positive way, company, and holiness means positiveness, never ever negative. So, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda, they are constantly giving us these positive thoughts, and that is called buddhi. So, you have to sharpen your intellect, decisive capacity. Now, I am this type of person. I can understand mathematics, I can understand that subject, but that does not mean that I am going to be destroyed in my life. That many times I have seen, sometimes some children, they will get frustrated because they are not good in the exam, maybe the second grade, third grade, what is there? You have some destination to reach and you will surely reach over there. So, never ever think that you are nothing. One of our Swamiji, afterward he became the president of the Ramakrishna mission. When he joined, he just appeared in class 10 and then he left from the school and joined the Ramakrishna mission. In the Ramakrishna mission, always from the beginning itself, that little high class, that they will be talking about the English, high society people are visiting. This poor boy from the village, he started thinking, oh my God, what will happen to me? I can't speak English. And these people are so fluent in English, what will happen to me? Like that, he was losing his heart. He told it before us, he himself. And then one day, he suddenly heard that the in charge of that ashrama, who was giving a course on the Bhagavad Gita, he was quoting the famous the teaching of Sri Krishna. Urdharet atmana atmanam. You must help your mind to rise and never feel dejected. Urdharet atmana atmanam na atma avasadayet. Become the friend of your mind. Atmaiva atmano bandhu. Atmaiva ripu atmanaha. And moment he heard that, he started thinking, well, I am from a village and I can climb on the coconut tree so fast, no one can compete with me. They may speak English, but I know how to climb the tree. So he started getting the positive the waves within himself. I can swim against the current. Can they do that? I can row a boat. Can they do that? I have so many good qualities which they are not having. In no way I am inferior. He got back the self-confidence. And this is the Sadhu Sangha. The Sadhu Sangha, Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he said that way, and the Swami, he explained, and that touched the heart of that young boy. And afterwards, he became a very famous personality, Swami Ranganathanandaji. Many of you have heard about him. The world he spoke in English, who was so poor in English. So that is the way we have to get the Sadhu Sangha. How? Using our intellect. I am good in some, and maybe I am not good in many others, but I am not going to lose the confidence. So the Ratha, the chariot, is this body. Shariram rathabevatu, buddhim tu sharatim viddhi, mana pragahame bacha, indriyanam hayannahu. So now these indriyas we have to control, the 5 sense organs we have to control, and then only we will reach to the goal. If you let loose all the horses, they will take you everywhere, and you cannot go and reach to the destination. And that is the reason one must have the spiritual life. Many of you have taken the initiation, and after taking the initiation, what do? You pray to God and take the name of God. In reality, you are controlling the senses. When you are taking the name of God, when you are meditating on God, you are truly controlling all these 5 horses, very powerful horses, the 5 indriyas. And how? Through the buddhi, through the intellect. So this way you have to ask your mind, now I am so and so over here. So many things happen in our life, but still some more years I have to go and I should be happy. The body may feel pain, but mind should not be having any difficulty. Whatever comes, different challenges, different times, but I should always be happy, and I should always support the positiveness. So that is the way the Ratha goes. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna used to come and join in the Ratha Yatra. There was a very rich man in Calcutta. He he was the disciple of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. His name was Baburam Bose. Balaram Bose. So his Balaram, he will be arranging all that. The Balaram and was a rich man, he was a landlord. Still that Ratha is there. But when we are pulling that Ratha, at the same time, if we think that this is the body, our own body is the Ratha, and inside the soul is the God, the Jagannath, and our Indriyas are the horses, and our mind is the rein that is holding the horses, and our intellect is the charioteer. He is guiding the horses. And that will be the great meditation. If we can think in this way, this body of ours, that becomes the temple of Jagannath. But after visiting the Jagannath temple, only the stones, they see only the carvings. They are all tourists. They are not pilgrims. The pilgrims are completely different. Tirtha Yatri, they are completely different. They go constantly thinking, and when they visit a holy place, they always imbibe the holiness. They get some transformation, and slowly, slowly they become God themselves. So that is the way we have to understand. The Father of the universe, the Jagannath Mahaprabhu. And that Jagannath Mahaprabhu has taken different forms, sometimes in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he helped the thousands and thousands of Hindus from the onslaught of another religion. They were very powerful, forceful religion. They were converting. They were the rulers. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He gave the simple name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. The constantly people are chanting, save the society, save the culture. And this is a unique culture, culture of love, culture of fraternity, culture of brotherhood. So this is the way the Father saves us. The Father of the universe, the Jagannath Mahaprabhu, sent Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. And Sri Ramakrishna came at a time when India was in a great difficulty. Not only they lost everything, but also self-confidence. The India, they forgot who they were. Some of the people, they were having little education, some money, so they were going on supporting the rulers. And other people, they were being tortured. And I was astounded to reading that someone has researched. Even in Calcutta, they used to sell the laborers, Dash Bapsha as they call it, the Dashas, that they used to purchase the laborers, and they will be all through the laborers. That was there in Calcutta at the time of British rule. And that was the time when everyone was criticizing Mother Kali, when everyone was losing that all these images of the Hindus are useless. They were losing the self-confidence. And that time Sri Ramakrishna came, and without saying anything else, he started worshipping the goddess Kali. Why? Because the Kali is the embodiment of knowledge and action. Without the knowledge, without the action, nothing can move. You have the power to work, but you don't have the knowledge. You won't be able to do anything. You have the knowledge, but you don't know how to work. That also won't help. So you need two, knowledge and action. Goddess Kali, if you carefully look at the picture of the goddess Kali, she is having the human skull as the garland, and also the hands hanging from her waist, human hands. So when the people look at her and they think, oh my God, what a terrible image. The same thing, the Britishers, they started telling, look at your goddess, the terrible lady cutting the heads of everyone. And not only that, she is so cruel, keeping the counts also, keeping the heads hanging as a garland. It is not, it is symbolic. She didn't cut anyone, kill anyone. Never ever a lady who is doing that way, we cannot call her as mother. Forget about divine mother. Human heads are the symbol of intellect, and human hands are the symbol of work. The mother is the symbol of knowledge, at the same time the work. So that is the symbolic. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna worshipped that, and through that image he reached to that ultimate knowledge. The friends, today when we are remembering our fathers, the compassionate fathers, and sometimes the fathers are very strong, it was very difficult. At our time, it was very difficult to approach our fathers. Their personalities were so great, so it was very difficult. So always we used to go through mother. We used to approach the mother, and mother will communicate to the father. And nowadays the fathers are so good. They will be taking the children on their shoulder, they will be the friendly, they will be mixing with, but even then the children don't understand that. When that support is not there, you are nowhere. We can remember the father used to earn, and we used to go to school by paying so much of money. We never knew. Our school fees used to go directly. We never knew how we were studying. But when we grew up a little in the grade 9 class and 10 class, then I found some of our friends are not coming to the school. Our parents cannot pay the school fees. Then all these years we never. And every time the new clothings, new shoe, new school book, new bag, everything, who gave? Father. And after getting the education, becoming doctor, engineer, well established in the society, if we forget that particular person, and that is a real, that's why Swami Vivekananda said, I hold every one of you as traitor. So you have cheated the person. So one should not do that. Always be grateful, always be supportive, and always be respectful to that person. Just because he gave the birth, it doesn't mean that he will be looking like this. Look at the Middle East. Many of the societies, you will never get this type of fathers. And when you have got these supportive fathers, you must think that God is so blessed. He has given me this type of father. That today is the Father's Day. As the children, we always remember the father. Sometimes the elderly people like us, our fathers are long passed away, but we still remember them and we respect them. Remembering also is a great human value. And along with that, we should not stop. We always think that the Father has a father, and that is Jagannath Mahaprabhu. Tomorrow is the Ratha Yatra day. In the Ratha Yatra, when the Ratha, the chariot, it moves, it gives blessings. And so many stories are there. The beautiful, that is that happened in the life of many people. The blessings are coming from the God, but you have to be careful. In Rabindranath, in one of his poem, in Bengali poem, he said, Ratha Yatra Lokaranna Maha Dhum Dham Bhaktora Lutaye Pathe Koriche Pranam. They are giving the description of the Ratha Yatra. There is a great fanfare is going on. Bhaktora Lutaye Pathe করিছে প্রণাম। Now the effect. রথ ভাবে আমি দেব, পথ ভাবে আমি, মূর্তি ভাবে আমি দেব, হাসেন অন্তর্যামী। Now when they are offering the pranam, the road is thinking, oh, they are actually respecting me. The chariot is thinking me. Even the image of God is thinking it is me. It is that consciousness. So when we go to the temple, when we bow down, we actually send our that connection to that Supreme Lord who is all pervading, residing in every heart. And that is why the Hindus are respectful to each other, to all beings. Why? Because the Jagannath Mahaprabhu, that consciousness, he is in every heart. Friends, today I am very happy that I could come over here and that talking in this way, sitting in a completely new atmosphere and before the very devoted people. Many of them may not be understanding English, but they are so devoted, even the foreign language, full 1 hour they are sitting and bearing and trying to understand. May God bless all of you. May the blessings of Jagannath be always on you, and may you always be respectful, thankful to your ancestors, particularly to your fathers and mother. I will say, those who have taken the initiation, those who are devotee, do not forget to visit the temple. When you come to the temple at least once in a week, that's very good. And if you can come, if you cannot make once in a week, at least twice in a month. Why? The moment you will enter over here, the moment you will look at this shrine, automatically it will generate within you all the good thoughts that has been generated over here. It will reach to your heart. Those who are sitting over here, taking the name of God, singing the wonderful the bhajans, praying to the God, all those things are here. Room. That was the office room once, but now it is a holy shrine, just because the thought has changed. So come every time, try to help, and then imbibe the holiness, and that will give you peace ultimately. Jai Ramakrishna. Any question?
So the first question is from Triguna. She is saying, I worship Shiva as my Prabhu and also as my father. Can I get Shiva through bhakti? Because I see who are worshipping Shiva, they choose Jnana Yoga. Please guide.
The Shiva is Jnani. Shiva is a Jnani, and Shiva, that lady, she is asking that she is worshipping the Shiva as Lord Shiva, and at the same time as his father, as her father. The Shiva, of course, is the father. The father in the sense of a protector. The father gives the protection, mother gives love. Always we find that mother gives love, father gives protection. When we were children, and I have observed here, that when something is happening inside the house, we go to the mother. If something happening outside the house, we call the father, because mother cannot go and fight. So naturally father will go and stand by my side. But that is the way the father is the protector. Shiva is the protector. Thank you.
Anirban is asking, many a times we find that we only understand our lives after he has passed away. In that scenario, how do we pay respect to our father?
So that is really, you are very correct. So when that he is mentioning, many a times, many people, they realize how the father and the mother was protecting them. In Bengali there is they say, দাঁত থাকতে দাঁতের মর্ম বোঝে না. properly. When the parents will ask them to brush, they will be angry. Then sometimes they will say whether the lions are brushing their teeth all the time. We are the lions, so we eat and never brush. So that way, but when the teeth is becoming loose and painful, we understand. Similarly, the father and the mother, when the way they are protecting us and we are growing up, if we don't understand that, that is very unfortunate. Unfortunate not for that particular boy or a girl. It is unfortunate that the society could not give them the idea. And that's why I really appreciate when at least once in a year we celebrate a day remembering the contribution of mother, Mother's Day, contribution of father, Father's Day. So at least once. But in our country as a tradition, we are supposed to get up in the morning and after offering pranam, respect to God, we go and touch the father and the mother feet and to take the blessings. So that the way we should understand. But this is truly, you are correct. And suppose you could not do anything that time, as sometimes the children, they are working far away, the parents are in the country and they are in America, what will happen? If you pray to them, or nowadays it is, you can always talk to them, and if you are talking with them, and nowadays it is so easy, you can call them on FaceTime or some Google and some comfort, and try to give them as maximum comfort as possible, even by spending some money if necessary. Thank you.
Gaurav Ray Mondal is asking, today my question is based on Vedanta. Is there a meaning of responsibility for others in Vedanta?
I couldn't get it.
Is there a meaning of responsibility for others in Vedanta?
Responsibility. See, Gaurav, what is the responsibility? Now, as a human being, we are depending on each other. So, obviously, we are all connected and we are responsible for each other. Suppose you are driving a car and you are responsible that not only you are going to make the accident, at the same time, others are also not doing that. So, you should be careful in both the ways. That is the responsibility. Paying the taxes is the responsibility, because if we are not giving the taxes, then how the society will grow? Mostly the rich people, they will never pay taxes because they become very narrow minded and selfish minded. They will earn a lot, but giving only 2-3% of their earning is nothing. And if they give that, the society will maintain the road, society can maintain many other ways. So that is also responsibility. So when you are alert, that is the teaching of Vedanta. Apramatta bhava. In Sanskrit they say apramatya. Be always alert. So whatever I am doing, I must be careful. I saw here the people when they are coming out, coming in, they are leaving their shoes. That's the tradition of the Hindus. But they leave the shoes anywhere. So the other people when they are going out, they are walking on that, and sometimes elderly people not properly seeing, they may stumble upon that. That may create a problem for them. That is also responsibility. So like this way, when you are using a toilet coming out, it is your responsibility to see the next person who will be coming is getting a fresh new chest, and that is Vedantic responsibility. Thank you.
Swarup is asking, is the Purusha as mentioned in Katha Upanishad the Lord Jagannath? Who are Balarama and Subhadra?
You know, the Balarama and Subhadra, they are also the part and parcel of the Jagannath. And that means your brother and sister, Do you remember when Swami Vivekananda, he addressed the gathering and 7,000 people were there, Europeans and Americans, and he addressed them as the sisters and brothers. That means you are our own. The Jagannath Mahaprabhu and then other created being are the sisters and brothers, that means our own. So the Balaram and Subhadra, the sister and brother, it's not only one, each and every one. They are all our relatives and we are related to them, we must love them. That is the idea.
Anjali is asking, if I am an Advaitin and see everything as my appearances and no second to me, and see that both Nirguna Brahman and Saguna Brahman is nothing than me, and or there is no second, is there a need for devotion?
When you see that everything is you as the consciousness, what devotion? Nothing is there. You have already reached over there. Devotion is a path, knowledge is a path, karma is a path, yoga is a path, and when we reach over there to the ultimate goal, we don't need that, but that will remain. Similarly, yesterday when we were driving over here, we were using the GPS. A GPS was perfect, but we were worried, but it was not showing, what is called that? Warren, the city. It was showing only 10, 9, 7. Where is Warren? So I was getting doubtful about whether the machine is working properly or not. We reset that, but no Warren came. Anyway, we reached properly. So that way, when you are using a path and then after that reaching to the goal, then you forget about the path. It is not necessary. You are already having that. That is the way.
Last question. Sima Vishwas is asking, why Mahaprasad is so famous of Mahaprabhu?
They say Mahaprasad, we add the Maha. Maha means to create a respect, The Mahaprabhu, Prabhu is sufficient, but we add Maha, the greatest God, something like that. Prasad is sufficient, but we add Maha, that means it is more better than something else. So we add only to create in the mind that we must be more attentive. So like that only. Maybe that way they call us Maharaj. Raj was sufficient, they have added Maha. So anyway, so this is the way always we think. The Mahaprasad means Prasade Sarvadukhyanam Hani Rashu Pujayate. What is Prasad? Prasad means only khichdi. Prasad means Jagannath Mahaprabhu's that sweet. Nowadays, as because lot of diabetic people are there in India, the Jagannath Mahaprabhu's Prasad is not no more sweet. It is also some different taste without sweet. So we are adjusting. The Prasad means that which give you a containment. Anything that give you containment, that is the Prasad. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hani. All the sufferings goes away. Shab dukkha dur hoye jaye. Jate otai prasad. When sometimes some people, some great scholars, great gurus, when they give the talk, then people, they become so happy. All the sufferings, they go away. That is also prasad. The prasad means that which makes us happy. Thank you very much. Now let us say Shanti 3 times. I say and then you repeat after me and we conclude. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
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 Shanti. Hari Om.